This I wanna nail sports to the bone. Top blogger, top YouTube channel. No matter which sports, yeah, we got it covered. Subscribe and hit the notification bell.
A blessed day to you, all my sports to the bone people. Welcome back to another video. Thank you all for checking this one out. So, with the West Indies test team now on the ground in Australia, I decided that it was the perfect time for me to go ahead and take a look at how we would have fared against them throughout the years. And so far, we have competed against Australia in test matches 118 times. So we're going to take a look at how many games we were able to win and how many games we lost and how many ended in a draw. And we're talking about from 1930 coming all the way up to 2022. So just give a listening ear until the end and let me know what you all think in the comment section. All right, so let's get straight into the action. So the West Indies team and Australia, they would have gone to battle in test match 118 times. And out of that 118 times, West Indies, we would have won on 32 occasions. Australia, they would have won on 60 occasions. And 25 games ended up in a draw. Right? So 60-32 in favor of Australia with 25 games ending in a draw. And most of those victories against Australia, they were from early, you understand, from in the 70s, 80s. So I'm just going to spend some time and walk with you all through the years coming straight up to 2022. So in 1930, the West Indies took on Australia, and this was in Australia. It was a 5-match series, and Australia won that game 4-1. So 1930 to 1931 tour, Australia won that game 4-1. So that is one victory out of the 60. In 1951 to 52, Australia took on West Indies, and that was in Australia again. And Australia won that 4-1 once again. It was another 5-match series. We would have also seen Australia in the West Indies in 1955. Australia won that 5-match series 3-0. The Frank Worrell Trophy, West Indies in Australia, 1960 to 61. Australia won that 5-match series 2-1. The Frank Worrell Trophy again, Australia in the West Indies, that would have been 1964 to 65. Australia were beaten by the West Indies 2-1 in a 5-match series. The Frank Worrell Trophy, once again, West Indies in Australia, 1968 to 1969. Australia won that 3-1, and that was a 5-match series. The Frank Worrell Trophy, Australia in the West Indies in 1972 to 1973. Australia won that series 2-0, and it was a 5-match series. Now, in 1975-76, we would have seen the Frank Worrell Trophy on display again, West Indies in Australia. Australia this time winning that game 5-1. It was a 6-match series, so Australia won that 5-1. The Frank Worrell Trophy once again, Australia in the West Indies in 77-78. West Indies won that 3-1. That was a 5-match series. Now in 1979-1980, West Indies, they won that 3-match series 2-0, and that was the Frank Worrell Trophy once again, West Indies in Australia. Right? In 1981-82, that was a drawn series, and that would have seen the Frank Worrell Trophy on display. West Indies playing Australia in Australia, and that was a drawn series 1-1. In 1983 to 1984, West Indies won that series 3-0, and that was a 5-match series, right? And that was the Frank Worrell Trophy once again, Australia in the West Indies. Now, the Frank Worrell Trophy once again, West Indies in Australia in 1984-85. West Indies would have won 3-1. That was a 5-match series. And, you guys would appreciate that that's when we had quite a few talented players there. So we were able to get the better of Australia in Australia. Now, the Frank Worrell Trophy, once again, West Indies in Australia, 1988-89. West Indies won that series 3-1. That was a 5-match series. And the Frank Worrell Trophy, Australia in West Indies, 1990 to 1991. West Indies won that 2-1. That was a 5-match series. The Frank Worrell Trophy, once again, West Indies in Australia, that was 92 to 93. West Indies won that 2-1, and that was a 5-match series. Now, the Frank Worrell Trophy, once again, Australia in West Indies, we would have seen Australia getting the victory 2-1. That was a 4-match series. 96 to 97, Australia won that 3-2. It was a 5-match series. Frank Worrell Trophy again, West Indies in Australia. And that was 94, 95. 96 to 97, Australia won that 3-2. That was a 5-match series. Frank Worrell Trophy again, West Indies in Australia. 1998 to 1999. That was a drawn series there. It was a 4-match series, and the teams played out to a 2-2 draw. That was the Frank Worrell Trophy, Australia in the West Indies. And then going into the 2000s now, so 2000 to 2001 thereabout, Australia won that 5-0. Yes, 5-0. That was the Frank Worrell Trophy, West Indies in Australia. So you basically see where the West Indies team was started taking a turn for the worse the later we got. Now, 2003, Australia won that 3-1. That was a 4-match series. That was the Frank Worrell Trophy, once again, Australia in the West Indies. 2005 to 2006, Australia won that 3-0. That was a 3-match series, right? And that was the Frank Worrell Trophy, West Indies in Australia. 2008, Australia won a 3-match series 2-0. And that was Australia in the West Indies. And 2009 to 2010, Australia won a 3-match series 2-0. That was West Indies in Australia. And we played them in 2011-2012. Australia won that 3-match series 2-0. And then we would have seen the Frank Worrell Trophy on display again in 2015. And Australia won that 2-0. That was a 2-match series. And then in 2015-16, Australia won that 3-match series 2-0. And that was the Frank Worrell Trophy, West Indies in Australia. And then the final one, we would have seen West Indies losing in the 2022 calendar there, 2-0, 2022-2023. We lost that 2-0, and that was Australia. That was West Indies in Australia. Oh, so we are going... Yeah, that was West Indies in Australia. I thought we played them at home. But yeah, that is 18 test matches there, my viewers and subscribers. And, Australia with the majority of victories there. And we would have realized that the later we got into the 2000s, coming up to 2010, 2011, the less the test matches started to get, I guess we are not as competitive. So we're getting like 2 games, no more 5-match. I mean, generally speaking, a lot of teams not playing 5-match series anymore. But, we hardly getting even 3 games. It's mostly 2. So in that 118 test matches there, in those 118 test matches, Australia would have won 60, whereas the West Indies would have picked up 32 victories with 25 draws there. So that is how it is looking going into this this test series, this 2-match test series. Not very often we pick up victories there in Australia, so it's going to be tough for the guys, but it's not impossible. It's definitely not impossible. So the players just need to go out there and put their best foot forward. And who to tell? We might come away with something. So as the players are currently on the ground over there, having their training camp, I am just encouraging them to just go out there, play fearless cricket. You cannot go out there and look to survive from day 1 to day 2 or 3. Whichever amount of days you're batting, you can't just look to survive. You have to look to score. Because if you just hang around like that, you're eventually going to get out and you wouldn't have scored anything. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. But that is how it is looking, my viewers and subscribers. As I said there, the record in Australia, it's very tough. It's very tough. We haven't won a series there in quite some time. So let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The last 12 series that we played against them, we lost 11 and we drew 1. So it's definitely going to be a little tough there. So yeah, we're going to continue to wait and see how things go, my peeps. We're still waiting on the coach or the captain to give us an update on how the players are doing. They are there now. So I am imagining, thinking that everybody is fully settled and is going through the gears, getting themselves ready for the first, getting themselves ready for that practice game and then the first test. So that is pretty much it for this one, my peeps. Just wanted to roll the years back a little bit and give you guys some history there. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. Sports to the bone, keeping you informed. Big up.